If you like this video, please click like, share it, subscribe, buttons down there. And if you want coaching with me or in Nottingham, all the information is in the bio. Are you doing all right? So this week I'm going to talk about 3 bits of advice out there, and just talk about why I think it's bad advice and why you shouldn't do it. Basically, I must admit it does fascinate me, this coaching world. Some of the stuff out there, it's as if people are on the wind up, and then one day they're going to come through that door and go, "Got ya." Yeah, I don't see it like this at all, and again I explain why. So check it out. Right, so the first piece of advice that's being given is this, right? So we're going to use this high black as an example, and people are being told this. So the nugget of gold is, if you play in this shot and you get down and you play it and do your aiming and you hit it there, right? So you hit it thick, or you miss it basically. When you play it again, don't make any adjustments. Just keep hitting the same part of the black. And then apparently, right, it's a good one, eventually your brain will automatically change and then the black will start going in. Yes, that is real advice out there. That's very, very bizarre. I've thought about it because I'm always trying to work this stuff out. I'm not just going, "Oh, that's no good." Yeah, I genuinely want to think about, I can only imagine he's thinking about, yes, eventually when you learn how to pot balls, when you get to a higher level, you don't need to make, you sort of just know where to hit it, like you're subconsciously competent, so you don't really need to feel like you're doing anything. It just seems to happen. That's a thing. That's what professionals do, the high level players. I mean, allegedly this guy's a, well, self-confessed high level, but yeah. So basically, yes, professionals don't have to think about where to hit. They just hit it and they know where to hit it because they've played it loads of times. But in order to be that, you've got to be first consciously competent. So you need to work out where to hit it so that all of a sudden that becomes a habit, right? So before you get the automatic bit, you need to know where to hit. So my humble opinion, my humble advice to you, if you keep going for this black and you're hitting it thick, next time you play, hit it thinner. Like this. And then eventually, right, you'll learn where to hit it, and then you can start to use that habit and create that habit. But like I say, if you keep missing it thick, don't keep hitting it there, because you'll keep missing it thick. And number 2 is this. Basically, in a roundabout way, don't copy off the best players in the world. Don't do that, right? Whereas I say, do copy off the best players in the world, because they're the best players in the world. So an example of that is this, and I know I'm like a dog with a bone with it, about my helping side thing, right? But a professional would play this to get on the blue with the tracer right hand side, right? For loads of reasons, and I've got it on my channel, right? If you want to look back. But this advice is, don't, unless you can make 50, hit the middle, right? Now there's loads of evidence out there of top professionals saying they very rarely hit the middle, right? And you've got the greatest of all time out there saying that you don't try and hit the middle because it's so hard to hit, right? But this bit of advice, this is, people are being told to, like I say, if you're not very good, hit the middle, but that's harder to hit than the tracer left and right. So the advice is, he's telling people who aren't that good to hit a spot that the greatest in the world avoid because it's so hard. So you just got to think about that for a millisecond, right? It's bizarre, right? So like I say, my humble opinion, that from one that can play to a high level, right, is err on your left and right as much as you can, because it helps the shot right? And like I say, the middle is really hard to hit, especially at pace. The greatest cueists in the world avoid it, right? Because it's so hard to do, right? So again, my opinion is copy of the best players in the world because they're the best in the world. And although they're the best in the world, they're not going to make the game, try and make the game harder. They're always going to try and make it easier for themselves. Even though they're super talented, even though they practice a lot, they're still going to try and give themselves that room for error. So if you're on this red, going off for the blue, I play it with the tracer right. Like that. Try it. You might get on it more. Right, so the last bit of advice that's to complete this trilogy is this. The first thing you do, the most important thing to get right, especially if you're a beginner, is your cue action, right? Got to get that good at it, and you see it all the time. People going down rabbit holes trying to cue perfectly straight. Now, not many top professionals cue straight. Even some of them, these pros that have said they've got the best cue actions, you'd be surprised a lot of them don't cue that straight. It's straight-ish, but it's not perfectly straight. Anyway, so you get amateur snooker players who aren't getting the outcome that they want, and that's because they think, oh, I've got a cue like Neil Robertson, right? And they go down, they just spend hours and hours trying to create this hit. And there's loads of stuff out there saying, yep, straight, right? Ironically, they might cue straight, but they're still, it's not like it's working for them because they're not a high level, are they? So there's plenty of examples. You might see people in your league matches, you see them break off, think, oh, he looks a good player. And they're not very good, but they cue really well. And you think, well, why is that? And it is because their aiming's not right. So I'm saying straight away, whilst trying to create a more consistent hit, because a better hit, a good cue action repeats. It's not, don't have to be pretty. If you're blessed with a Jack Lasaki cue action, yeah, crack on, that's great. But that's not going to make you into a good player. It might make you look like one, but ultimately, if your aiming's off, you'll keep missing. So I'm saying, work towards a more repeatable cue action, whatever that may look like. But your aiming, you can sort that out pretty quickly. So you know what you're doing, and then you'll reap the rewards of that as your cue action gets better. Because if you don't, you'll keep going down the cueing, but you'll never get the outcome because you'll be cueing dead straight, like you've been told to, but your aiming's off. So you'll be cueing dead straight, look, and it's not going to go in. So what happens there is that doom loop of trying to get this perfect cue action never ends because you're never ever going to get the outcome that you want, right, ever, because your aiming's off. You might get a bit better, but you're still always going to hit that sort of glass ceiling. You can't get any better. And then it's just, again, that doom loop. And people are driving themselves mad, looking for more clues of what's wrong with my cue action. Is it my little pinky finger? Is it this, that, and the other? And it isn't. It's because your aiming's off. So my advice to you, from someone that can play to an high level, and I know I say that all the time, blowing my own trumpet, but it's true. And I know what you need to be thinking about, and I know what you need to be doing to be a good player, because I can do it and I can show you. And in my sessions, I do all this and I show you all the stuff that I'm talking about, so that, again, it's not snake oil, it's reality. So like I say, get your aiming right, and then as your cue action get better, you'll all of a sudden start playing better. Without a doubt you will. And then, you know, if your aiming's good, you can start sort of flaring them in like that, because I'm good at aiming, and you don't have to be that great a cueist if you're good at aiming. So yes, my advice is flip that advice on its head, be a good aimer, and you'll be a better player. So there you go. Again, like I say, I don't really get it, the advice. I do try and look at this stuff and try and work it out. But yeah, I think hopefully I've explained that pretty decent. And don't forget to comment below, and I will see you soon.